Thanks.
Oh, Tracy.
So,
hey, Brent, hit record.
Yeah.
Where's
So,
Tracy? She's supposed to remind you.
Right. So just know that Jill is here for all of us. She's always supporting, always sponsoring, and never stops enrolling. I'll ask her a little bit about that. But Jill is, I don't even know. What's your stars and stripes now, Jill? Do you even know? She doesn't even know. She's like, I don't know. They just send me money. Because
I'll give you an idea. Like today, I think I made 33,700. In the last, I don't know, it might be 17 star now, 16.
Yeah. And that's a week, guys.
It just goes into the bank, and I just thank God and on my knees every day. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's all in. Okay. All in, always working. Jill, how many people have you enrolled in the last, I don't know, give me the last month. Do you know? Roughly?
11.
How many?
11.
11 the last month. Right? So even though she's earning what she's earning, she's still doing the do, right? She's still making things happen. She's still rocking it, and she's still connecting with people. She's heard a term the other day, and then I'll let you take it, Jill, but she heard a term the other day, and she says, if I ever become a rocking chair leader, please let me know. And we had a conversation about what a rocking chair leader is. And that's somebody who just sits back in their rocking chair and watches everybody else do the work. And that's definitely.
Or sits back and collects the money, right? And does nothing.
Yeah.
And, and you do earn that right to do that. But, I just believe that, we were all given this gift to serve people till the day we are called home, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, thank you for that introduction. And I had forgotten I told you about the rocking chair thing. Brett and I have a lot of really great conversations about this industry almost daily. And it's just, we are really, and even after last night's Zoom call, Brent, we have the other group of leaders. We are all so new to this industry that we have the passion, we have the desire, have some skin in the game, but we haven't, I feel like I'm just starting to fall in love with the industry. Didn't you feel Bobby and Michelle had that love for the industry? They're in love with this company, and they're in love with the industry. They've been in, of course, 30 years. So they have been through, the wars and the fires. They've come out shining diamonds. But I feel like I'm just now starting to really fall in love with network marketing. And it really was a good, cool conversation last night and I can't wait. Bobby and Michelle are Isogenics millionaires. They live in San Diego. They're going to be coming in to the training that we're going to have. If Brent hasn't shared that with you, on May 17th in the auditorium at Isogenics building. And Brent will be speaking with Kelly D and April and a couple other leaders. So it's going to be a fantastic training. But anyway, yeah, what an amazing, amazing ride this has been. And it's a privilege to be on this call. So thank you for having me. And one of the ways I've really built my business, and I still do to this day, is the bones of my business is always constantly enrolling. So obviously I have a warm market. Once I kind of went through that warm market, I realized, like Brent and April are now doing so beautifully, they are now getting out of their comfort zone and connecting in multiple different ways, connecting with strangers, right, in different groups. So really, guys, I want you to think of it like this. Conversations are like links, right? And every time you talk to a stranger, think about this. It's a metal link that is formed. And every conversation that you have with that person, after you have that conversation, the link gets stronger. And each and every day, every one of us meets so many people, like at the grocery store, Uber, the gym, doctor's offices, etc. And with every conversation, we build a new link, right? Until we have created this massive, for lack of a better word, worldwide web of conversations. And I was thinking about that today visually. What does that mean? And if you think about our Marco Polo conversations, that's a beautiful example of what I'm talking about. There's a whole link of conversations, and each one is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And now we have this web of this beautiful link, or this strong chain of conversations. So I love that Marco Polo when I think about the links of my conversations, and they're just getting stronger. So that's what I think about when I'm approaching a stranger. Every single one is another link to my web. Okay, so I want you guys to take notes tonight because I'm going to give you 7 points that will really help you in feeling more confident and tools you can use to work on and practice when wanting to approach a stranger or how to approach a stranger. And again, it's just practice, right? You do it enough times, it gets to where it's just second nature. So with every conversation, something fascinating happens, right? I like to look at each conversation as an adventure. A conversation can open doors. A conversation, if you think about it, makes war and makes peace. And conversations define really who we are as a human race. We just experienced that through the election, right? The conversations really are what are defining us as a race. And I think about this, every single person think about this is powerful. Every single person that you know now in your life was once a stranger. Every person, even your family members, right? Until you had that first conversation. So you knew nothing about them, right? Until, again, you started these conversations. So I always think about that, like everybody in my life who's my closest friend, right? At one time, they were a stranger. So tonight, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to talk to strangers and how to talk to strangers, right? So there's 7 ways to have a conversation with everyone. I love talking to people. Brent loves talking to people. And we love to do it every day. I have very little time when I'm in these conversations, you guys, to really establish a conversation. Maybe 10 minutes at best with a stranger, right? So maybe 20, I don't know, to really get them excited, engaged, and most importantly, to leave them with a smile on their face. And really, guys, convince them that they would want to be a friend of mine. I got to do that in 10 minutes, 10 at best. Very few times do I get 20, especially with a stranger. This is a little bit difficult, a little tricky from a man to a woman, obviously. So we can talk about that at the end of the call and we'll open it up for conversations. So really, how do you talk to a stranger? Well, it's really simple, guys. Strangers really are everywhere. If you think about it, strangers are everywhere. And we have always been told, again, don't talk to strangers, right? Well, I beg to differ. I mean, I was thinking about this today too. When was it the age when you stopped, like when a parent would reach for your hand and you would stop reaching back? It was very instinctive up until a certain point to reach back for that hand. And I'm going to say maybe early teen years, I stopped organically, subconscious, not even thinking about it, reaching for a hand and starting to be instilled in me, don't talk to strangers. And I started the defense mechanism. And I know that popped into my mind today, that visual of when did I stop reaching for my parents' hand when they reached for mine? When did I stop talking to strangers, right? So at any rate, okay, so here's the first one, right? The number 1 is floodgates. Floodgate, I want you to write that down. Every conversation comes with an opportunity to learn something new, an opportunity to experience what you have never heard or a story that you have never experienced before. So you've all been there before, right? You see someone, you know you want to talk to them, and you feel that word stuck in your throat, right? Or that your little heart start to pound, and you want to talk to them. I mean, it happens to me all the time. I want to say something. I don't know what to say, and it gets stuck, even though we train on this over and over and over what to say. Okay, guys, so here's what I say about that. Are you ready for it? Here's my advice. Just say it. Just say it. Okay, remember, they're a stranger anyway. You don't know them anyway. You have nothing to lose. And what I like to do is before I say what I'm going to teach you to say, I muster up every bit of enthusiasm, every bit of positivity. I put a smile on my face, and I think, what's the worst that's going to happen here, right? And here's what I say. Ready? It's 3 words. One of 3 words. I go, hi, hey, or hello. That's it. And I'm smiling, and I'm excited, and I'm like, hi, or hey, or hello, right? It's that easy. And it's nothing harder than that. And it is simple. After the first word, is said, there's a little awkward moment there, right? It's kind of like, oh shit, now what? But, you know, really, those are my 3 words. And I really do, before I say it, I'm making sure mentally that I'm gathering the enthusiasm, I'm gathering my positivity, I'm gathering my energy and I come out with a big old smile. I'm like, hi, okay? So I know that's weird and sometimes it's a little awkward, but it's okay. It is, here's the key. It's worth taking the chance. It's worth it. I promise you, you guys. So we have conversations with strangers. What did I write about that? We want to make them really memorable. So how do you do that? And what's the biggest challenge? Honestly, if we get stuck in the same old, and this is what you don't want to do. How are you? How's it going? This is not what you want to be saying to a stranger, okay? You don't want to be stuck in that because that's the same old thing. And here's the deal on the second one. Skip the small talk. Write that down. Skip the small talk. Talk and ask a personal question. And I'll talk to you about what I mean by that in just a minute. So, hi, how are you? How's it going? Does not work, okay? Ask a personal question and don't be afraid. Trust me, you'll be surprised how much people are willing to share with you if you ask, right? So it can be something as interesting as, how do you like your coffee? I mean, simple, right? How do you like those running shoes? Ask the question after a wonderful hello, or hey, or hi, I was wondering, how do you like that coffee? What did you think of that movie? These are little examples. You're asking a more personal question than saying a statement of hi, hey, hi, how are you? Or hi, how's it going? That's kind of awkward. So you're finding some commonality in your approach to a stranger with a personal question. And I don't mean like personal, like, you know, what doctor do you go to? That's a little too personal. So again, you guys, you're going to be really surprised if you ask the right question, how much people are willing to share with you. So how are you, let's see, what I write, how you got, oh, here's one I like to say. Once I introduce my name, I'm like, I'm Jill. And I don't know, a lot of times they have these really interesting names. Sometimes I'll say something like, that's such a beautiful name. Where are you from? People love to tell you where they are from and where their family is from. So that's a key one to write down. Where are you from? And sometimes, and this is the next one, and once I get through this, I want to circle back to that. The answer to these types of questions, you know, you guys, make them unique and make them personable. So one of the ones I like to say is number 3. Let's get to that. Let me skip a little of this stuff because I circle back to that. Is look for the me toos. So if somebody would say to me, after we've gotten past the personal question, how do you like your coffee? May we talk a few minutes about the personal question? I would say something like, bless you. What I'm looking for is the me, what I call number 3, the me too. I would say something like, I'm from California. And I would say, me too. Or I would say something about, you know, or I would say, if we're talking about something in common, you know, whatever, I work out at Bauman's gym, and she would say, me too. So I'm always looking for something, commonality, where we can say something in the lines of me too, or I do too, or that's awesome, I love that. So now what's happening here, guys, is we have found common ground. And we're coming from this place where we agree on something, and we're sort of like suddenly, you know, on the same side of something, okay? Whatever it is. It could be that, you know, we both have baby girls, or we both, you know, whatever. We both, you know, I don't know, love that coffee, or we like that same movie. Again, back to the personal question. And when you get the me too, it's a powerful position to be in with a stranger. So look for that. Look for the me toos. And then going back to that, again, I love to start with where are you from? Where's your family from? You will not believe how many strangers want to talk to you about where their family is from. And again, somewhere along that line, you guys, you're going to get a me too, an opportunity for a me too. So me toos are big for me. Does that make sense, Brent? Just shake your head if you like that. Okay. I love that. And how often does that happen? You're talking to a stranger and you're like, oh my gosh, me too. Boom, common ground. You're on the same side of something, and you continue building the relationship and the link upon that. So let's see. Now, what could be possible that we could have in common with a stranger? Well, I don't know, guys, anything. First of all, you're in the same place. So you have something in common right there, right? If you're talking to a stranger, you already have something in common. At the same time, you will find, I promise you, if you are at the same place at the same time, you're going to find something you have something in common with. Number 4, big one, my biggest one, pay a genuine compliment, okay? People here, and you guys hear this all the time, people will forget what you do and forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And if maybe they will forget it, but I got to tell you, if you do a genuine compliment, they're going to be on a high all day long. And I like to be very, very authentically generous with my compliments. And I love to go out and make someone feel really, really good. So remember, they don't care what you did. They don't care what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. So something maybe like this in it with a unique compliment might be something like, oh, and back up. Stay away from nice, awesome, and cool. I don't use those words, okay? And when I'm giving a compliment, I use something very very generous, like, and again, never lie, guys. That's super important. Say something like, I love the way you smile. Now, a man to a woman, that would be weird, right? But from a woman to a woman, I got to tell you, nothing makes me feel better when a woman gives me a compliment on my skin or my hair or, you know, my age or whatever it is. When a woman's complimenting me, I feel so empowered. So it's really important to give a genuine compliment that's going to let that person, when you leave them, that you will leave them with a smile on your face and wanting to be your friend. Again, it's how are you making them feel? So, and I will say that, and I won't even just say, I love your smile. I will add on to that, and I will say something like, oh my God, you have the most beautiful smile, very genuine, right? And very authentic. Do you know when you smile, like your whole face lights up? Your eyebrows even move? I mean, I will go into detail about her smile. Okay, a man can be a whole different vibe but you get the point. It's a genuine compliment. And then expand upon the compliment, right? You guys can figure that out, Brent. We can maybe come up with some ideas, but I have that down with women, and it's very genuine from my heart when I am giving one, because people will feel your truth. So I love that. And then let's see, what else do I have on that? So again, it comes down to just paying more compliments to a stranger, and that can be even how you open, right? You know, wow, I really love whatever, your lip color, your running shoes. Where did you get them? You know, hi, I love those. You know, can you tell me where you got your shoes? And then here's the next one. Ask their opinion. How do you like those running shoes? They're awesome. He might go into that he loves those running shoes. People have opinions, and trust me, they want to be heard and they want to tell you their opinion. Giving people the permission to give you their opinion, guys, is grounds for a great conversation and a friendship. So go ahead, guys, ask for an opinion. That's when you open up a two-way street, when you ask for an opinion, okay? That's when the conversation, communication begins, and you will be surprised how much you can pick up on a person just by asking the person's opinion, okay? And you can be pretty generic about that. Don't ask about controversial things. Forget politics. We all know that. Ask a simple opinion. How do you like your coffee? How did you like that movie? And again, here's the key thing about asking someone's opinion. If you're going to ask them their opinion, you need to ask to listen. So listen to listen. Don't get in a debate to ask their opinion so that you can give them your opinion. If you're going to ask a stranger their opinion, that's not the time to be giving them your opinion, okay? So super, super important on asking their opinion. A stranger will tell you their opinion all day long. And again, that can be the first thing you lead with as well. You know, hey, I was noticing, you know, that, again, let's go back to the tennis shoe thing. Your shoes, where did you get them? How do you like them? They are going to tell you their opinion, okay? So if you're going to do that, make sure you are listening to listen. And here's my hardest one, but my favorite one, because all we have right now, you guys, is this moment. That's all we have. I am so present with you right now. My phone is off. My phone is really, truly off because I know I have to be fully present when I'm communicating with a stranger, especially because they're going to be subconsciously looking to see if this is in my hand. Okay? They want to see this in my hand. If it's in my hand, I'm going to be more tempted to look at my phone. So be fully present. Eye contact is huge. Phone is not in your hand, it's away. Especially women, we always have it in our hand. Put it away if you're going to approach a stranger. And eye contact is super important because here's the deal. With the phone away and the eye contact, this is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens when you are fully present and you're thinking in your mind, this is all I have is this moment right now. Be fully present. That's number 6. This is cool too because you're going to see this person again. That's the goal, is to leave this person with a smile on their face and wanting to be your friend. Remember, go into your notes on your phone or make a mental note, whatever you got to do, because I'm so bad at this. Remember their name, their pet's name, their spouse's name, any detail they gave you that was personal, and put it in your notes along with any contact information that you got, and put it in your mental subconscious thing. So, or when you're going to go back and follow up, you look at that note and you go back to what you discussed and you remember the key things. Name, their pet's name, their spouse's name, their children's name if they shared that with you. Any small detail is huge when reconnecting again, and you remembered that. They're going to be so blown away that you remembered a small detail besides, hey, those were cool running shoes. You know, I know you mentioned your son, Bobby, you were on your way to pick him up. How's Bobby? Or whatever, okay? Remember the little details of that person. Remember, again, their names, and also remember where you met them. Remember where you met them. That's super, super important. It's really awful, and this happens to me all the time, when you see that person again and you can't remember their name. And what helps you to remember is that if you make a note when you leave them. Really, really cool stuff. And I got to tell you guys, I read a quote today by, got to look him up. Really cool philosopher back in the 1930s. It was Carnegie, Dale Carnegie. Brent, do you know who that is? Yeah, and he was talking about the most beautiful name a person can hear is their own name. The most beautiful thing a person can hear that we don't even consciously know it is when I say your name, especially when somebody you just met, a stranger, remembers your name. It's a pretty beautiful thing. And how you actually receive that when somebody's like, hey, Brent, and you're like, oh my God, I just met that guy, remember my name, right? That's a cool thing to remember somebody's name. These are all very basic, simple things, guys, that will change everything for you when you're out and about. Invest in their well-being, guys, and they will invest and feel responsible to invest in you. A conversation, this is really where this conversation gets rich here. I look at every conversation like reading a book. So you can go into any chapter of the book you want, right? You can read the front cover, you can read the back cover. And here's the neat thing. Try to look at every single person like they are a wonderful book. Because every single person has an amazing story. Everybody does. Good or bad or ugly. We all have an interesting, fascinating story to tell. So we're all human beings with stories. And I believe we deserve more from each other than a, hey, hi, how's it going? How are you? See you later. I think we deserve more from each other. I think we want more from each other. So, really, what are you going to do? This is a big world, right? It's called a library. Are you going to walk around and read the titles of a book? Are you going to skip the chapters? Are you going to reach for a book and open the page and start to read their story? You get to decide. You get to decide. So I love that visual that the world is a library and each person is a book with a fascinating story. Are we going to open that book and take that chance to say, hey, hi, or hello? And then again, once you do that, you've opened up my number 1, the floodgate. Number 2, you're going to skip the small talk. You're not going to say, how's it going? How are you? You're going to say something personal, right? Like, how was your coffee? Or how do you like that drink? And you're in line at a salad bar. What'd you order? Or whatever. Find the Me Too's. Look for the Me Too's in a conversation. That moment is powerful. And again, it continues the conversation for common ground. Pay a unique compliment. Go overboard with your compliments, but be a genuine and authentic. Ask their opinion. Everybody has an opinion on something and everything. Believe me, they want to tell you. Be fully present. Put your cell phone away, eye contact, and give them 100% of you for that moment. Remember, you're not going to be with them for long, so give them everything you have. And then remember their name, their pets, their animal, whatever they share with you that was personal. And again, you invest in them in that 10 minutes, they're going to be more responsible to want to invest in you. So with that being said, I think we should open it up for conversations because I know you have a few. In certain scenarios, what would you do, right? But I think I've given you 7 really cool things that I do that are very effective, and you can feel more confident when you're out there in the world sharing with strangers or trying to connect.
That's awesome, Jill. Thanks. That's really cool stuff. And I wrote a couple notes down. So, one of them is, and I've always felt strongly about this, but, kind of being a story collector, right? So if you talk to more people, then you get to collect more stories. And the more stories you collect, then that information leads into a way that you can use to connect with somebody else. Because one of the things you said is true. And there's a few guys on here. So as guys, making those connections, you can do it. You just have to practice at it, right? You have to practice those connections, not only with other women, but also with other guys, right? Because it's, I'm not going to walk up to Paul and tell him he's got great hair, right? But there's going to be, but the one that I've found that's the most powerful of that, Jill, and I really like using it, is asking for their opinion, asking people's opinions about something, right? So, something along the lines of, hey, in running shoes are a great one because obviously, that's something that I'm passionate about, so I can connect with, or anything along those lines. And generally, if as a guy asking a girl a question, if you preface it with, wow, you know what, that's really cool. I'm looking for something for my wife that I, and so that idea is really cool. Can you tell me where you got that and how do you like it? Right. So that's not imposing, and you're not coming across in a weird manner. So that's an easy one to kind of ask for their opinion. And so I definitely like that one. Anybody have any specific questions that you want to ask Jill? And I would encourage you guys to really, take this chance to ask these questions. I mean, you're being given the opportunity to talk to somebody here that, like she said, she's about 30 plus a week in income. She's successfully doing this business. She's enrolling 11 people in the last 30 days. So she's still super active in that part of it too. So take a minute, ask some good questions, and let's generate some good conversation.
I always say too, Brent, that in a restaurant, good grief, you have a whole hour and a half typically with that person. And a man to a woman in that situation would be, you are such a phenomenal server.
Absolutely.
And it's that light of a compliment that makes them feel so good. And servers certainly are, so devalued in my opinion. And so anyway, yeah, let's open it up.
Yeah, practice, guys. I mean, the biggest thing is practice. I used to tell people, I've told probably some of the people on here, told them the same thing. When was the last time that you went inside and paid for your gasoline? Right? Don't pay for it at the pump. Go inside. Right? Go inside and practice your connection with the person behind the counter. Right? Say something. Practice. Say something stupid. Say something real. Say whatever it is. But that's a good practicing opportunity. Like Jill said, you go out to eat, that person is expecting a tip from you. So even if you really screw it up, they're probably still going to be nice enough to let you do that because that's their job, right? So they kind of got to be nice to you. So again, practice with the servers and that sort of thing, and practice your language.
And compliments are huge, guys, and really authentic. And if you're going to just say, and women love to, and I know, Raquel, you love this, you are so beautiful. I don't leave it at that. I tell her what's beautiful about her, okay? So add on to the compliment and be so generous, and you will not believe, how you can connect with a compliment.
You say that about Raquel?
She loves it when I tell her she's beautiful. She loves it. I tell her every day. You should see the picture I have of her today. It's hilarious. She looks great. It's a funny story, but I won't get into it now.
All
I
right.
invite you to follow.
Let's have some good questions. Anybody got a question, comment, thought?
Hi, Paul.
Hello. Hi, Jill. I got one quick question for you. So when after you make these connections with people and all that, like how are you kind of closing it so that you're actually physically connecting with them then? I know that you've talked about, doing the linking up through Messenger and stuff like that. But so from a guy's standpoint, obviously it's going to be a little different, but if I want to connect with somebody, whether it be female or male, how are you what are some tips to kind of end that, how to make the final connection then?
Well, I'm sure Brent could train all day on that. He's kind of the expert in that field and connection, but I love, I connect as well, and I connect fast and furious. So, remember, so if you're going somewhere to, let's just say, an establishment of any kind, my goal is not to connect immediately. My goal is to establish the friendship, okay? To leave that person with a smile on their face where they feel good enough to want to be a friend of mine. So it might be a clothing store I frequent often. So my goal is to genuinely want to lead with just making friends. If you can make a friend and a good friend over time, they will follow you anywhere and do whatever it is you're doing eventually. So the goal is not to get them. The goal is to throw your bait out and go fishing, right? We're not hunters. We're fishermen. We throw our bait out. And we're authentically and genuinely trying to love people up into our world because we have the answer, right? And, again, it depending on how well we connected, what we had in common, and you're looking for commonality. I'm from California. Me too. Oh my gosh. I'm from this town. Me too. Before you know it, we're looking for we have so many commonalities. Before you know it, we have mutual friends. Now that's the time to say, let's connect you on Facebook. Every single time, almost every conversation, if I'm listening and I've asked their opinion and I've complimented and I've, skipped the small talk, we're going to find, 6 degrees of separation? It's really 3. You listen well enough and you're that in tune, you're going to find a reason to say, I'd love to connect with you on Facebook, right? And then you do, and then it goes from there. And I have a private coaching group, and I'm into it, and eventually it will circle back to what do I do? Put you in my coaching page, come take a look. I want to invite you into my world. And that is the goal, but it's not what I'm mainly out to do. I'm mainly out to collect as many friends as I can on this planet. The more friends I have, right, the more lives I can bless, the more lives I can change, the more lives I can empower, the more lives I can bring into our fold, into our family. So,
right.
Friend collector.
Okay, thanks.
Does that help? But again, there's multiple ways. You can do, Marco Polo. You can do, I love inviting people to the app, but I love going on the Facebook code messenger, still use it, instant, and then I'll send, like I connected with the shoe guy the other day, on code, and then I connected. I said, hey, do you want to go move even faster and start showing me shoes before I have a chance to come see you? And he's like, heck yeah. Then I sent him the link to Marco Polo, and he clicked on it, and he's now sending me a flipping shoe every hour on my Marco Polo, which is great. I'm developing the relationship now, and we're having fun. I'll draw silly things on a shoe and whatever. So again, developing the friendship and the relationship, and I want him to be my friend at the end of the day, not my shoe salesman, and I want to bless his life. So.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Brad, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, just a bit. The thing is, and I know we all get it, right? It's like, oh man, because Jill made the comment, right? She says you only have this moment, but the moment isn't to enroll them, right? And as silly as that sounds, and as silly as everybody says, oh yeah, of course I get that, right? But we still have that mindset that's like, oh man, if I could get this person, and if they would say this, then I would say this, and then if they say this, then I'm going to friend request them, and they're going to get enrolled, and I'm going to get them started on nutrition. And the reality is that I don't think many of us have ever just like met somebody and they've enrolled right away. And if you do, it doesn't happen very often, right? At least certainly not in my world. So it becomes like what Jill said, and that is we go back to the same restaurant regularly, right? We're animals of creatures of habit. We go back to the same restaurant, go see the same people, make the same connections. for multiple reasons. One, I find something I like and I'm going to go back there. But two, because we know that we're developing friendships within that place that now when we come back, Jill made the comment. She goes back to the same sushi place. And every time she goes back to the same sushi place, everybody says, hello, Jill, because everybody knows her, right? She's like Norm at Cheers, right? So it's that same thing, right? When Tracy and I go to the sushi place that we go to, it's like they know where we're going to sit. They know what we're going to order to drink. They know what we're going to order for an appetizer because we go there. But every time we go there, because restaurants turn over a high turnover of people, we're always meeting different people. And I just use that as an example. But the example is that when you meet somebody, hopefully you're meeting them that they're going to be part of something that you're going to engage in again. If you know that you're probably never going to see this person again, then you're going to have to make the decision, do you really want to step that one step further to request that connection? And that's kind of where we go from being a sharer to a little bit on the sales side, and the fact that, hey, Paul, it's really nice to meet you, man. And this is that whole card thing, right? The only reason I ever pull out a business card is if I expect to get one back, right? I'm not going to just give you a card and hope that you call me. I want to give you one if I think I'm going to get one back. Or if I'm going to go to that next step of saying, hey, can I Facebook friend you? You want to connect on Facebook, something like that. And but like Jill said, and I agree, and that is, you just met them. What are they going to do? Say no? You're weird. I'm not going to accept your friend request. Okay. Right. But you've got to, and one of the topics that I'm going to talk about tomorrow that was spurred off of the conversation we had last night is I'm going to talk about the concept of fear, right? And all the things that fear does that keeps us from doing stuff, right? We don't ask to be connected with him on Facebook. Why? Seems weird. Weird to who? Weird to a person that's trying to build a multi-million dollar business? Probably not so weird, right? That's what Facebook's generated off of. So fear holds us back on a lot of stuff, guys. A lot. Weird.
Well, you guys, you're in the people business. You really are, in the relationship business. So you just take that leap of faith, and you will get, the fear will, what overcomes fear is just action. And just, if you flub up, so what? You're never going to see that stranger again. But get in the habit of making it. And I like to say every day, okay, I'm going to connect. If I'm in the mall, I'm going to make myself connect with 3 people. I set my intention, because intentions are huge, right? So if you've already talked yourself into this phenomenal positive place, right? And people will be attracted to you because you've set the intention, you've put your happy face on, and you're open. And I like to get myself into a really great state of mind before I will hit them all. And I kind of go through my little power move that I've been taught at different training. And mine happens to be like, yes, 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 whatever. Because it's yes, yes, yes to something to you in regards to sending a kind of neuro whatever in your brain, as opposed to no. Gotta go to the mall, right? So I get myself mentally, psychologically ready. I set my intention. I do my little power move. Brett, have you ever been in one of those trainings where you do the power move?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And you will not believe how you will start attracting, and people will cross your path that will be open to listening to whatever it is you have, to offer them. The world is really in a bad place right now, guys, and everybody is looking for, in my opinion, love is the answer. And everybody's looking to be loved on in whatever form that might look like to you. And it can just be a hey, hi, hello, and a compliment, and ask their opinion. And it's that basic. You are loving people when you are doing just these simple steps. Being present, you're loving on someone. You can change a life that fast. You don't know what is going on in someone's mind at the mall. We all know the suicide rate right now. And your smile, your compliment can change the whole course of their life. You will never know. God says we will never know the little things that we do to add value to people's lives till we get there. He's going to show us all the things we missed, all the opportunities we missed. And my goal is to make sure I try to start being very well aware of each and every opportunity. And the windows are going to open like this all day long. They're going to open, they're going to close. They're going to open, they're going to close. Are you going to walk through them? Are you going to be brave enough to take the chance to say, hey, hi, hello? Okay, it's going to be weird, but it's okay, right? And then just smile and just say, I just want to give you a compliment. You know, you're really a pretty, pretty woman. And, you know, your smile is beautiful. I was watching you, whatever. And then if at worst case scenario, you've made that person's day. And that makes my day, right? So be looking for the opportunities. When the door opens, go. If you get that little twinge in your heart, you know that you should be doing something. You should be taking an action step. And don't be afraid if you have that feeling to say, hey, hi, or hello. Just do it. That's it. That's my advice. Just do it.
And, you know, guys, the thing is that what Jill's saying, and it's going in my head, is, you know, this is our job, right? If you don't get anything else out of this, get the fact that it's your job to connect with people. You don't like people, probably isn't the right business for you, okay? In all honesty, really. If you don't like connecting with people, and you don't like sharing, and you don't like, you know, engaging in each other, and you don't like listening, then this probably isn't your thing, right? But when you go out of your house, then you should go out with an intention of connecting. You will rarely see me go out on the street ever without something that I think is going to cause potentially a conversation. Whether it's, I got one on now, right? Who knows what this is?
What is that? Oh, that's a...
The
Oh,
Ragnar relay,
Ragnar.
right? Ragnar relay. But guess what? This is a conversation topic for people that I want to talk to, okay? Because the people that I want to talk to will ask me a question. Oh, which Ragnar did you do? What did you do? What did you do? Right? That causes a conversation. So if you go outside and you got your glasses on, you've got your head down, and you're, you know, bundled up and don't look like you really want to talk to anybody, then guess what? You're probably not going to talk to anybody.
Pink hair, Kelly, baby. Yeah, girl.
Yeah, exactly. Kelly, right? I can't pull that one off. But you really got to, but when you want to, and we all know this, right? If I want to make conversation with somebody, if I want to talk to somebody, then I've got to walk around. I got to have my head up, my eyes open, don't have my sunglasses over my eyes, and converse with people, right? Tracy made the comment one time we were at a vendor fair and happened to be outside and I have my sunglasses on. She goes, you can't have your sunglasses on. She goes, people can't see where your eyes are tracking. Because I can attract somebody, if somebody walks by me and I look at them and they're looking at me, that I can tell if I can make that eye contact, that then I can do what Jill said and I can say, hi, how are you today? How are you today? Right? I can engage that conversation to be able to get them to come and take that one half step closer, right? And Jill says, you know, don't say how are you doing today, but whatever it is that you say that you're comfortable with to engage that. It's just that I know what they're probably going to say, right?
Well, if you're going to do that, Brent, how are you today? How do you, and then go with the question.
Exactly.
How are you today? How do you like that coffee?
Yep.
Right. Go right. Skip the small talk fast. Okay?
Yeah. Be prepared for the response. Because if I say, how are you today? Most people's response is what? Fine or good. Wow, that's fantastic. So, and then the follow-up question, right? You've got to have the follow-up to it. Because if you just let the fine happen, they may not respond back to fine with you. And if they say, how are you doing? You better not ever say fine, right? If somebody asks me how I'm doing, fantastic, awesome. How about yourself? Are you having a great day? You want to elevate them up to that next level to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Heidi.
So what does it sound like? Well, first of all, thank you for being on the call, Jill.
Thank you.
What's your conversation like? Then let's just say somebody's private message you says, hey, what is it that you're doing? I'm interested. And you say, hey, I can invite you into a private page to learn more. Then you invite them to XHP. And then what's your next conversation? Like, what does it sound like? Do you have one-on-one conversations, like long conversations?
I think we have done such a fantastic job in that page and on our product pages. 99.9% of the time people contact me, they are ready because we do such a great job in the store of educating our shoppers. I mean, they marinate in there as long as they want. By the time they get to me, They're like, sign me up. Today we got a president's pack out of there. Somebody was put in there a month ago, marinated. I'm ready. The page, the storefront should be doing such a fantastic job. As you know, did you say what I think you said, Heidi? Because I'm the only other one on the planet I know that says that. Did you say HXP? Because I do it every day. It's XHP. Oh my God, I love you. I love you so much. Somebody pointed out to me yesterday. They said, do you know you say HXP? I'm like, I do. So I went back to all my Marco Polos. I say HXP. And you just said it. You're the only person I've ever heard this. That's awesome. I love your brain, Heidi. I love your brain, girl. So yes. But again, let's just say they've contacted me and whatever. I don't know that I'm somebody I met, perhaps. I mean, go back and rephrase your question, please.
Well, I'm just curious. So let's say they say, okay, I need to learn more about this, but you already have an XHP, but they want to have the conversation. Then do you have like this? I feel like sometimes I have so many long conversations. I'm talking so much. Like I feel like I'm not being efficient.
Right. And you are vomiting pretty much.
Yeah.
So what you ask specifically, what is your specific question? Right? You never want to be in the convincing business. We don't have time to be convincing people. You'll never convince people, right? You don't have time. This is not what you signed up for, was to convince people. We want to educate them. And again, the page should be doing such a great job. And I will get exactly what are you still have questions on? Is there anything the page has not answered you? And then give me specific things I can help you with. And then maybe perhaps, they have a tummy issue, and we solve them real fast because I go right in for the kill. I want to know exactly where your confusion is and where we haven't covered your questions. So as opposed to going through the whole 30-day system and blabbing on, bombing all over them, I don't have that much time. I don't want to convince this person. And once you start playing that convincing game, it's a losing battle, right? We're very confident in your products. You know what they do. They are the cream of the crop. You don't have to convince, right? It's everywhere. And if they haven't heard about it, they're going to hear about it really soon. And you want to be the first one to have planted that seed, because they will circle back to you. And again, just planting those seeds. And it's timing. A lot of it's just
sorry.
timing.
And what package do you sell the most of?
I always go for the value pack, and then I can go down, but I'm pretty much 90% of what I do, because I create that value. And the more I can get them talking about not what I have to offer, but what they need. So I create that value, talk more, keep telling me more, keep telling me more. Oh, back when I was 10 years old, I was anemic, keep telling me more, keep talking more, ask the right question. And then I'm like, perfect. For 30 minutes, they just told me every single medical problem they've had in their entire history. The more you can get it, asking the right questions, getting them talking forever about their poor health and their situation and their goals, then all you got to do is come in with the right hand and line up that right pack. They have just talked themselves right into the best pack we have. With everything you have just told me for 30 minutes, oh my gosh, you need the value pack. The value pack is really, again, you just invested in them. They're now going to be more interested in investing in what you have to offer them. And so my goal is not to sit there and go, oh, I don't have time to listen to their metal. My goal is to listen as long, and the longer I can get them to talk, the more they've talked themselves into the value pack, and then you just marry that together. It's a beautiful thing. So it's never 90% me talking, 10% them. It's always 90% them talking, 10% me, if even that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Brent, how do you like that? You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think that's a little bit about like what Zach Slobin was saying the other day on his thing when he was talking about just talking about value, guys. Letting people tell you what they want,
yep.
And then when they tell you what they want, then show them the result of what that is, right? And on the whole thing about the convincing business, I educate myself about the nutrition because I want it, because I feel like it's my responsibility to know it as a business owner, right? I'm a professional isogenics business owner, right? I want to know what that business is and what we have to offer. But when I get somebody that comes up to me, I just had one of our team leaders come to me the other day and said, hey, I was talking to so-and-so, they're a dietitian of some sort, and they said this, and this ingredient in our it happened to be our magnesium, something was not what it should be. And I'm like, okay, well,
Exactly.
what do you want me to tell you? In case anybody's not aware, I can't call Isogenics. I don't, and Jill can't either, and say, hey, you guys should change the composite of this particular of this particular ingredient because we've got some other dietitian that feels like it's not right. Because I promise you that if we changed it, somebody else would say, oh, well, that's not right either. And then it would be a back and forth and back and forth. So if somebody tells me that, oh, it should be, something or versus serrate or whatever, right? Then my response to them is, wow, that sounds like you got a lot of knowledge about that particular topic. That's amazing. We've got 8,000 people, 60,000 people pick the page, right? We got 550,000 active members in Isogenics right now. They seem to be doing really well, right? I've got 500,000 people, over 500,000 people that are using this nutrition every single day. They are doing really well, so it must be pretty good. How many people have you used this with? Right? They don't have 500,000 people that they're doing anything with, I promise you. Okay? So don't take away from that, right? And the other one that comes up all the time, guys, we all see it. And Jill's been through all this too, right? Well, what about this protein powder from GNC versus Isogenics protein powder? What about it? Because if you get into the weeds and start debating back and forth the quality of this versus this and this versus this, then guess what you've just done? You've devalued yourself from the CEO of your company down to the research secretary of your company.
Yeah, and the other thing too, and in regards to that, and it's a great point, is never be debating, especially when you're connecting with a stranger. If you want to kill a conversation at hello, start debating. Don't even go there.
Oh.
Okay, if you're going to listen, if you're going to ask their opinion, listen. Don't get it caught up in the debate or any type of negativity at all. You will kill the conversation. Absolutely. And and I've learned in this business, and now I still consider myself just coming into the stage of maybe being a professional. It's really hard to look at myself like that. The less I say now, the better I'm doing. Really, there's so much, and I don't have to say a whole lot, and it's a pretty cool thing. And I'm aging healthy. I'm in shape. People just have to look, and I'm exuding positivity, and I'm, they just want to do what I'm doing, and without a whole lot of, convince. I don't convince anyone. I'm just like, and from day one, Brent will tell you this is true. It was never, what are you doing? We don't know. Just do it. Just get on it. Brent will tell you that's the story how he enrolled. And he's like, you're just going to start taking this stuff, right? Because you come with credibility. You come with this trust factor with people that at least, right? And you have a conversation that really is on point with what we talked about tonight. You're going to form this relationship pretty quick of whether I can trust you in this conversation at this moment, right? So yeah, I'm doing nutritional cleansing. You should try it. You should do it. And I've established a trust. It can be a very small little thing I said that this person, the way I made them feel, wants to be my friend. So I don't know, circling back to what I was saying. So it's, where was I going with that? It was never a convincing or debate or staying in that circle. Don't have time for it. We don't need to. We do have the best of the best. There's a million scientists and nutritionists working on these products every single day. And, people are really looking for something that works. People are desperate to feel better. People are sick. People are tired. People are overweight. People are on a million medications. They are truly looking for something that works. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I run into weekly that says, I've tried everything. They're so hopeless. They are so hopeless. So, I mean, if you are in the Sexy Challenge page right now, we put a post up, I think on Saturday. It said, tell us your results so far. After 2 weeks, it was like post after post after post after post, hundreds of them. I've gotten off my medication. I mean, it's crazy. After 2 weeks, you guys, 1,700 people on that challenge right now. After 2 weeks, the results are staggering. And most of them are saying, I feel better, I have more energy, and I'm seeing my doctor and I'm working on getting off, or I got off some medication. Mind-boggling. So like Brent said, you know, you want to take Costco protein, go ahead. Next, right?
One of the biggest things this is a line that I heard a long time ago. I really like it, and I still use it this day, and that is, I'm so glad you said that. Right? When somebody says, blah, whatever it is, I'm so glad you said that. I used to think that too, and then I found something. Right? Wow, the product's kind of expensive. Wow, I'm glad you said that. I used to think that too, and then I found this, right? And then I found that I was saving money, and then I found that people that are on my team, and then I found that the 8,000, 60,000 people that are part of my immediate group have all said that how much more that they have saved. Or what is this product? Oh, wow, I'm so glad. Why do I need this whey protein versus that? Oh, wow, I'm so glad you said that, right? Take away because guys, face it, they're not asking that question when they're pulling through the drive-through at In-N-Out Burger or any place else saying, what is the ingredients list on your Taco Bell, right? They're not asking that question. So don't let them ask that question to you, right? Divert it. That's not the topic. And if it is the topic, they're not signing up anyway.
Yeah, you're looking for the one that's so desperate and so ready they'll try anything.
Jill says, bring the easy in.
Invite the easy in. And these are 7 points that are so easy, guys. They really are. And so I wish you all the best with out there and trying them. Trying a few. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I just want to say, you guys, I think really, I've heard this from multiple leaders, multiple people that have done this for years, and have built successful business for themselves. The whole less is more thing, and I even teach, I teach my team to do the same thing, don't be verbal vomiting and all that stuff like that. But yet I still find myself doing the same thing, and I think it's because you're trying, at the stage that we're at, you're trying to just do as much as you can to build your business. So you want to be able to feel like you can help everybody out, with answering as many questions as possible. But, it's right. You guys are right. It's just a matter of just knowing when to shut up, and just keep, just answer the questions that they have and move on. I've heard that from so many people, and it's just, it's like when you hear it the last time or whatever, then you finally, you realize, I have to shut up myself,
Well,
but no, thanks guys.
Brent pounded this in my head a few years back, and I'd be like, but, he's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about your story. I'm like, somebody cares about it. And, Michael reached out to me this week. He's like, I don't understand what your whole thing is. I said, be interested, not interesting, right? I want you to become more interested in others than interesting. If you want to collect a whole bunch of friends in 2 months, really, really fast versus a few over 2 years, be interested in others versus interesting. And so what I mean by that is I could talk about my story all day long, but I'm trying to be interesting. I'll gather a few friends with that mentality, but if I become interested in you versus interesting, right? Does that make sense? You're going to want to be way more invested in becoming my friend because I'm so interested and I've invested in you. So I'm not going to tell you. And then Michael reached back to me and he said, well, I don't even know your story. And I said, exactly. He said, someday I'd like to tell you my story. I said, someday I will, but my story's not important. Your story's important. And he says, I'm not really enrolling a lot of people. And I said, well, is your conversations mostly about your story? And he said, yeah. I said, well, you got to start switching that at one point because your story is, for a while, your story is very important. It's very valuable. And that's part of the process of growing and developing. We've had these victories. We've had this success. We lost 50 pounds. Oh my gosh, we're celebrated. And rightfully so. But at one point it begins to flip, right? Begins to flip. You're not as interesting. You are becoming interested. And that was a post that I have done this week in regards to that mindset. So I think that's part of the stage and part of the course, Paul, is, we all have to go through that to get to being really good at listening and say less is more, and really, you know, we've been to a million trainings. We've learned this stuff. We've practiced this stuff. It didn't just magically happen. And you're hearing this, you know, Brett and I are martial artists, and my husband, Brent's mentor, he used to say, I don't care how many times it takes you. If you have to kick that board or do this form 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. You know, you're going to get it. And we might have to go over this topic 1,000 times. But each time you hear this message, you're going to subconsciously get better and better and better at this. So don't worry, it's just a process, right? And it becomes very organic at one point. Promise.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jill, thanks very much. I know it's your time's valuable, and if we figured up per hour, I'm sure we probably all owe you something like a dinner or a bottle.
Now, here's what you guys owe me, because I want to teach you this, and this isn't for my benefit, but I'm going to get great, I don't know, love from you from this. But I want to teach you to do this on every one of your calls. When you have a guest on, you be flooding their private message with gratitude and thank them, and then tell them what you learned from this call. And I'm on many calls where I've just learned that, and we flood the person. So what's going to make me feel really appreciated tonight is if you guys flood me with private messages and tell me what you learned tonight, so that really I can have, Angela, I love you. You have that sign. That's so awesome. Okay, see, I'm not going to remember anything tonight, but watch how she made me feel. Are you guys getting that? Are you getting that, right? Raquel, you felt so good in the gym today. Andy made you don't even know what he said, but he made you feel good, right? You guys, when you get that, right? You leave me with a smile on my face. Thank you, Angela. Love you, lady. Mwah. And I hope I added value to your life. And whenever you have anyone on your call, make sure you guys as a team flood them with thank yous in the private message. Powerful. Not necessarily for me. I don't need it, but I'm teaching you a really cool, effective toy. I learned that when I was on one of David Wood's calls. He was like, okay, now what are we all going to do, team? And they're like, we're going to flood her with thank yous and gratitudes. And it was kind of cool. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope I added value. If you have any questions, I can help you with that. Again, remember, here's the deal. Floodgates. Hey, hi, hello. Skip the small talk. If you want to say, like, hey, how's it going? Fine, but go right in and say, you know, where are you from? And look for the me toos, and pay a genuine, over-the-top, generous compliment. Be so generous with your compliments. Ask their opinion, be present, and remember their names and their pets and their kids and their animals or whatever it is personally that they share with you. And that's a really hard one to do as we are aging. And that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you so much, Jill. I really appreciate it, and you've brought a lot to us. I was going to hold up the sign that I had made too, and I just realized the dog took it out of the room before I was able to hold it up. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had a sign made up and everything, just like Angie. So,
so
no.
awesome.
But,
oh my God.
But seriously,
Wait,
thank you so much.
Hang on, keep that there, Angela. I'm going to take a screenshot. That's
Pull it back a little bit, right there. There you go.
Hang on. Wait, that way? That's awesome. Made my night. I love you guys. Anything you need, I'm here for you. And that's what I love. It. You know, Paul, it really does take a team. There's no way we couldn't do this without each other. I don't know how people are out there doing it by themselves, but we have such an amazing team. And Brent is such a phenomenal leader. And you guys are so blessed being under his leadership. And his years out being a police officer has added so much to, he's bringing all that wisdom to this team. And I learn from him every day. So Brent, I love you and thank you, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Jill.
Night.
Good night. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I know it's late, especially for
Thank
you
you.
East Coasters. So I'm going to wrap this up with the fact that tomorrow night, the team call, like Jill mentioned, we had a meeting yesterday on our Zoom call last night, I guess, and we talked about what's going to be covered at the Wednesday, the 17th training that Jill's putting together at corporate here in Gilbert. So I'm going to cover one of the topics, and one of the topics was fear and what that does to us, how it makes us immobile, and kind of some of the ways that we can work around that. So anybody that wants to get on that call, you're certainly welcome. It'll be tomorrow at 6 o'clock Arizona time, which is 9 o'clock Eastern Standard. And then the last thing, this call from now on, because of the little poll that I did, is going to be at 5 p.m. Arizona time and 8, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm moving it up an hour effective next Monday. So next Monday, and for Mondays from now on, this call, this leadership call, will be earlier. And I still want to kind of keep it at the roundtable discussion. So please, I love the fact that there was more people on here tonight, and I'd love to have more people be here, and so we can kind of have roundtable conversations about what's working. I don't know of any promotions that are coming up. I don't know of what corporate's got going on. I do have a meeting on Wednesday with me and Jill and a couple other people are having a meeting with one of the people at corporate. So I may have some new information on Wednesday, but as of right now, I'm not aware of any special incentives, promotions, new shakes, or any of that kind of stuff right now. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic night. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Good night.
Thanks, Brent. Good night.
All right. Keep the page rocking. Keep everybody engaged in the excitement of the challenges.